Hey people, welcome to my podcast. Oh my goodness, it feels so surreal to say that, but here we are. My name is Esther Kalenzi and I'm going to be your host. Wow, this is something that I've thought about doing for the longest time and I can't believe that it's finally happening. So if you can sense any jitters or anxiety, you're sensing right, but we are going to figure it out together, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I would like to start this with a little story, and I need to warn you in advance, there's going to be lots of stories here because we are storytellers and we love to listen and tell stories here. But I've always had a love affair with words. It started when I was young. I was always writing. I had so many notebooks. That hasn't changed. And it was just the way that I could best express myself, whether it was writing about a sad experience or a happy experience. Before I even knew what journaling was, I was journaling. But also, it's the way that I love to express my love to others. So if you're my friend or family, then you have little notes from me somewhere, or cards or handwritten letters, or there's like a long essay or two on your phone. And this is the way that I bring my full self when I am writing those words. And so I thought about other platforms where I could continue to express these words. And for a long time in my 20s, I actually wrote a blog. It wasn't weekly, but it was fairly frequent. And then later I started to microblog on Facebook. And that was until it got shut down in Uganda, but that's a story for another day. Now, while I wrote these things, whether it was blogging or in my notebook, I realized that writing was always a cathartic release for me. Once I wrote these words, I started to feel like things are beginning to make sense. Whether it was realizing that I was the wrong one in an argument, or realizing that this thing could actually pass, and noticing that maybe my sadness has reduced after something, or I'm just a little less angry, or I'm even happy, and writing it down has actually made me realize that this small gesture is actually bringing me so much joy, and how much more can I do of it? I realized that it was something that simply made my life better. But then something unexpected also happened. I started to get feedback. This was from friends, family, and strangers alike. It would be something like, I've been going through this rejection, and reading you talk about the rejection has made me feel seen. Or I've been going through a difficult time and I realized that I'm not going through it alone because it's something that other people are also experiencing. Sometimes it was just all fun and games. This made me happy, this made me laugh, or it's something that inspired me. And I realized that these stories actually had some impact. It wasn't just about me. And so while I enjoyed writing for myself, at the back of my mind, I said, if there's at least one person whom this speaks to, then I will have achieved something. I will have made a difference, and that is going to be enough for me. And during the COVID-19 lockdown, I started on a project which I called the Phoenix Project, which was basically about wellness. We were in a season of confusion, a season of anxiety, and again, words were therapeutic to me, and I wanted to give other people the gift of words. So I created journals just for writing, for people to write their thoughts, but also to have some prompts that just get them thinking and get them in their fields. We are also all about the fields here. And also some calendars which had quotes with different writers, but also my words. This was another way in which I was putting my words and my creative expression out there. But I always thought, what if I could actually have something that is voiced, that can be replayed whenever, the same way you want to read your favorite book and you just go back and flip the pages. But I talked myself out of it. Again, if you're listening to this, then we won. Yes, we won over the fear. So I talked myself out of it so many times. It's not something I even talked about to many people. Once in a while, I'll just drop it in as something that I'm looking to do and then just brush it off. And like many of you who have experienced something like this, had fear or doubt just before starting something big or even something small, but it might be big to you, you constantly tell yourself stories. And I told myself stories. I asked myself questions. Does anyone need another podcast really? And does a podcast have to be by me? I also don't like the sound of my voice, and here I was creating something that's all about the audio, and I could not explain to myself how I want to put this out there into the world. And then a part of my work involves having my voice, my face, my story out there. And I realized that starting something like this would lead me to open myself even a little more. And I wasn't sure that was something that I was comfortable with. Guess what? I would be doing it willingly. And once it goes into the world, I have completely no control over it. And I don't want to not have control over anything. But also, I was wondering where I was going to get the time, because it already feels like there's just so much to do, so little time. And the little time that's left is actually for rest. But here I was trying to fill the 24 hours a little more with more activity, which will possibly become exhausting, possibly be difficult to add on to the schedule, and all of these things. And the more I thought about this and other reasons, the more I told myself that it wasn't something that I was going to do. But guess what? We won over the fear, because I also told myself that I don't want to live my life regretting things that I didn't do simply because I didn't give myself a chance. I have the privilege of having people that can support me to bring this to life. And so I decided to ask. And guess what? The answer was yes. And that's why we are here today. So I am really, really looking forward to this journey. I'm looking forward to all the lessons we are going to learn, the laughter, the stories, all of your feedback. I honestly can't do it alone. It's hard enough speaking into a microphone on your own, or looking into a camera and just speaking to yourself. But with your voices, with your feedback, it will make me feel less alone. So do not hesitate to leave a comment, to send an email, send a DM on any of the platforms, and just say, hey, I listen and this is what I thought about it. Then only have to be good feedback. It's something that I would just like to listen and know and learn even more. So I believe that for as long as this remains fun, fulfilling and impactful, I'm going to do it. And if the chapter ends, then let it end, but at least I'll have given it a try. So if you're thinking about starting something, no matter how big or small, and the voices in your head are telling you you can't do it, the voices are wrong. If it's your own voice that's telling you you can't do it, perhaps you need to try before you decide. If the people in your life are telling you you can't do it, just give it a chance. You never know where it's going to go. That being said, I look forward to this journey, and I can't wait to see what's in store. Let's do this.